let's do this. All right, we have a good one today. The topic of today's video is going to be a little bit different and something that you probably haven't seen or heard of much at all. And it's in regards to actually how to finally get the money on the investments of your Pokemon cards. No one ever talks about how we eventually get the money back. You know, it's really easy to say, go buy this product, go buy that product, but and watch it go, you know, up and down. But no one ever talks about how do you get that money back. And of course you sell them. No shit, Sherlock, right? You sell the product, you sell the cards, you make the money. Now, that sounds great. It's not like the stock market. You can't just press a sell button and get the money. That's not how it works. These are physical items that need to go from you to somebody else. And because of it being a physical product, that brings with it some risk, okay? Now I'm going to go over, you know, some of the risk along with that, and you know what I am personally doing now to get myself ready for selling, because I haven't sold any real big things yet because it's way too early. So let's go ahead and again, it's the hardest part when it comes to investing in you know, your Pokemon cards. It's also the riskiest. There are so many ways that you could lose your product. People can say they scammed you. You know, people can say you scammed them. Never get your money for the product, and it's, you know, it's rough, and no one talks about it because it's not pretty. It doesn't look good, and it's not easy to do. Let's see. So there's a couple places you can go. It's really any online seller you could. The big ones are really eBay and TCG Player. I don't use eBay. I can't vouch for anything that they do. I think I've sold a few cards that it worked out kind of well, but that was, you know, a couple years ago when I first got into it. But me personally, I like TCG Player. People go to TCG Player to buy things that are card related. I trust them. It's the path I would go. If you don't want to necessarily sell online, you could also use OfferUp. Now, I don't use their shipping stuff. I don't do any of that. I use it mainly for local pickup. And we'll get into that in a little bit later. But let's see. When it comes to selling this stuff too, it's not as simple as just selling it for, let's say, let me think. Let's go with Evolving Skies, right? I think it's $280 now. It's not that you put it online, you sell it for $280, and then you earn $280 back. That's not how that works, right? So the first thing you have to do is you have to ship it. Now, on TCG Player, you could either do it as the price plus shipping or shipping included. And the shipping included is also included in the price that you see. So for example, $280 is probably one of the lower ones, but it's also included shipping. And shipping can cost anywhere from, you know, for a booster box, it could cost like $10, let's say, right? So let's say you wanted to make $280 plus and then include shipping. That's now $290 you have to charge. And now all of a sudden, instead of being one of the top people to sell, now you're towards the bottom. And along with shipping, most sites, and eBay is included on this, they actually have a fee that goes along for selling on their site. So I know with TCG Player, I believe it's 13%. I think part of that goes towards credit cards, the processing of credit cards, and then part of that goes, I want to say it's 3% for the credit card processing, and then 10% goes towards TCG Player. So let's go ahead and $280. Right, that's one of the lowest, $280. So we're already down to $270 when you include shipping. Now let's take 10% more off of the $280. And what's that? $28. So now you're down $38. And 3% is, let's see, $280. You know, just about $850. So what was that? That's $28. So $36.50 you just lost off of your $280 you presumed profit. And you have to be aware of that this all goes into when you sell it. You're not selling for this price and that's it. You know, you have these other things that go along with the selling. So it's something to be aware of whenever you do go to sell, is that the price that you see is not the price that you're going to get back personally. Let's see. And again, going along with TCG Player, again, that's the site that I'm going to use. I would highly recommend getting a reputation in TCG Player now. And really for that is so that number one, you could show TCG player that you are reputable to begin with. I just sell cards right now. I sell kind of extra cards. Usually when I open a booster box, I'll put either competitive cards or I put every single trainer card I get on there as well, just so people can buy from me and get my account. It looks reputable. And for one, you end up getting a star. If you sell enough, get a good enough ratings, you get a star. People love that. If people see that you're a good seller, they're more likely to buy for you. No one's gonna go on TCG Player. They're gonna see this account. You even may be the lowest price on there. If they see that you have zero sales, or let's say even you have a few sales but no reviews, they're not going to buy from you. No one wants to get scammed on there because buyers can get scammed too. TCG Player is not super like protective of either. They want the buyer and seller to work it out. So there's a chance for a scam there too. So a buyer wants to see that you're reputable so that they know that when you get a product and you say that it's what it is, that's what they're going to get. So it's important to kind of start building up this reputation with TCG Player so that when people see you and they're like, "Oh, okay, this looks like a good buyer. I'll buy for them." Even if it's not the cheapest price, they'll take it just because of, again, it has a little orange star next to it. If you have that, at least people feel comfortable buying from you. So I think it's really important to start that now because you don't want to go, 5 years down the line and all of a sudden you're like, I got to sell this booster box. And you go on TCG Player. Mind you, it's a free site to use when you set it up. It doesn't charge anything to put it on. And again, if you plan on selling a lot of stuff, even like if you plan on mass selling your product, if you're just starting off, you can't sell it all at once because TCG Player limits you on the amount of products you can add. So there's just a bunch of reasons why you should at least start now. Just try selling a few cards just so you can get your account going, and people eventually will see that, oh, okay, that's a good buyer. And again, I'm gonna now go back to OfferUp. OfferUp has benefits to it. Again, I would use it personally for in-person meetup. And I want to disclaim this right now. Be super careful when you meet up. Don't just go meet somebody, especially when you have this vintage $600 XY Evolutions booster box. Don't just freely meet somebody at their house in an alleyway. Be very careful. This isn't for everyone. Don't just go and meet somebody and do this. Be careful. Meet in a public place, a crowded place during the middle of the day where nobody can just, no one can hurt you. And with that out of the way, it's also the best way to make the most profit. So for example, we're going to go back to that Evolving Skies 280. That 280, you had shipping, processing, and TCG Player fees taking 30-something bucks off of your base profit. 280, someone might just go pick it up for that. And let's say they don't pick it up. Let's say, maybe not $10 off. You're still saving like 20 bucks, 28 bucks selling it to this person rather than selling it online. So it does have its perks. I know I'm going to try and use it, but it's not going to be it's not going to be my go-to because also people around you may not even want it. And if people don't want it around you, online is going to be really the only way to sell it. So these are just a couple things I need you to actually think about, take into consideration when you start investing in these Pokemon cards, because it's not super easy to get out. It's not. I can't sell all this stuff in a matter of a week, okay? Unless I undercut myself severely to do the lowest price, not to mention all the shipping, all the packing that goes along with it. It's not easy. It's not easy to get this stuff out. So it's something to keep in mind. And take a look at TCG Player. Take a look at OfferUp. Even go take a look at eBay. Again, I don't use them. I don't plan on using them. But it might be a site that you personally like to use. I know a lot of people use them. But be ready. Be ready for that stuff. It's going to come eventually. There's going to come a time. And it's the hardest part about investing in Pokemon cards is getting out. And sometimes you just need to get out.